channel. Y'all, I don't know why I do that. As soon as I hit the button to go live, something just happens. I don't know what it be. I just don't know. But anyway, my name is Cheryl Kowalski, and welcome to my channel. Now, I wish I didn't have to wear these glasses, baby. But, I mean, we're going to try for a minute. Because, I can see them, a little bit. But anyway, y'all, so welcome to my channel. This is a good place to be. I would love for you guys to comment, like, and subscribe. So we have a video tonight. We're going to be looking at IHOP News, Jennifer and Pumps. We're going to be listening, and I'm going to be reacting to that video because I thought it was really powerful today. So I'm just waiting for y'all to come in. We got 2 viewers. We got 1 thumbs up. The other viewer, could you give me another thumbs? And the question for tonight is, I'm going to do a little talking before we actually go look at the video together. But the question for tonight is, why are the Black Christians so unempathetic? And I told Bruce today, me and Bruce was talking a little bit a few minutes ago. He was at Zaxby's, and I called his phone, just chatting. And I said, Bruce, I'm so sad. And he was like, why? And I said, because it's really, really bothering me that the Black church, in my opinion, is very unempathetic. And I'll show you why, or why I believe that in just a second. So anyway, I got 4 viewers. Can y'all hit share and copy link for me so we can get the rest of the viewers in here? Please hit share, and then you'll see the option to copy link, and then hit that option. And don't forget to like it. Okay? Y'all come on in. We were hacked, and somehow it tanked my channel. And so we're just in here right now. But anyway, I'm on YouTube, obviously. And this is a wonderful place to be. This is the best platform in the world. Who is that? Is that Benny White? Hey, girl. Let me put my glasses back on. Oh, Lord. Let me put my glasses back on. You're in the building. Benny White, please hit share and copy link on your device. Hit it several times. Just share, copy link, share, copy link. Go back and hit share, copy link, and like the video. I only got 1 like. I got 4 viewers and 1 like. Y'all hit the like. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes because this is gonna be a really good live. I'll be sharing my thoughts, my perspective, and my opinion as it relates to the Black church, and then I have a video that we're gonna watch. I was a little under the weather. Already done. Okay, do it more than 1 time, Benny White. Do it more than 1 time. I need to do it several times. I was a little under the weather today, and I just don't feel, all of myself right now. Who is that? I'm kind of a little nauseous a little bit. I'm a little nauseous, just a little bit. And don't know why. Actually, I think the food is out here. It's almost here. Please meet your courier in a moment. Let me see. Yeah, I'm a little nauseous every time I drink that water. I want to say behind you. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Behind you. You see it? The food? Why the courier say?
Was it that car?
Behind you. You see a car out there?
There's 2 cars out there.
Out where?
In the front of our house.
Okay, well, I mean, we can't get the food. We're not supposed to come outside.
There's not on the porch.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Just see my money spent. Okay. 3 months of stars. What are they talking about?
It's a car in front. There's 2 cars in front of our house. Oh, one that's delivering food.
Hello? This is she. Good. Oh my God, this is a bad time. Hold on for a second. because I'm live on YouTube. Let me mute the live. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Why is they
Man,
together?
that was an odd time to call. That was a really, really odd time. Okay. So anyway, just put me a little bit on the plate. So anyway, y'all, so these are my thoughts. And I don't know if somebody else came in. I hope you feel better. Thank you. What's up, Stefan? Thank y'all. Can y'all hit share, copy link, and welcome to my live. I think I got some newbies down here. My name is Cheryl Grabowski, and this is a good channel to be. So anyway, the Black church. I'm not picking at the Black church. I don't want y'all, but I'm just concerned. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got friends and family that are church folks. Okay, I had two of my clients that were with me today, and they both are church goers. And so this is the thing, y'all know where you know how I don't really go to church anymore. And but this is what I said to my clients. I said, I'm worried. I don't know what that is flying, y'all. I can't see it on my side, but I see it here on the camera.
Isn't our food?
Yeah.
It's all of these are shrimp, and I don't know what these are.
Those are fries.
Why?
So they didn't give you your chicken.
No.
And it's all shrimp.
Yes.
Did they bring you some sauce?
Mhm.
Oh God. Can I get one of those? And then can you put me some fries in one of those? Yeah, I hadn't had dinner. I'm sorry.
No
You don't want it?
I don't want to eat no more.
Why?
I'm trying to mess up my order.
No, I don't want it on the plate. I just want some fries inside of there. You got shrimp over there?
Mhm.
Can you just put me some fries inside of this?
Mhm.
All right. I'm sorry, y'all. That's what happened when you go live, okay? It has somebody outside. Just a lot going on. And then Ashley is eating her dinner. But anyway, so the Christians. Let me just tell you what I'm observing, and then I'll tell you what my client said. So the Christians are.
You want a lemon?
No, I want no lemon. The Christians are.
Can I have a little bit?
Ashley, do whatever you want. I'm live. Do whatever you want. Okay. So the Christians are complex. Like, I'm talking about the black Christians. The black Christians. They are. They're on the president's side. They're on the white nationalist side. I'm telling y'all right now, whether it be y'all friends or y'all relatives. So in my mind, what's wrong with that? Because you might be saying, okay, Cheryl, what's wrong with that? Can y'all thumbs up line? what's wrong with that is right now our um our judges, our congressmen and women, our Democrats and Republicans have turned to the Old Testament. They've turned to the Old Testament. And they're hurting people. They don't have empathy anymore. They don't have it. I'm telling you, they don't. So when we talk about all of these horrible things being done to people, they cool with it. I'm serious. Mhm. Y'all gonna be shocked. You be shocked because so the two clients that came in today, I had a third client, and I mentioned what did I mention? Oh, I mentioned that I don't believe that there will be that we will get attacked on our land by the other people. I just don't believe that. I believe if it happens that our people are going to do it. That's what I believe. And the black church is lost. Hello, is that Tara? Hey, Tara. The black church is lost. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. It's not gang. It's not like when I was a really when I used to be a fundamental Christian back in. Let me get the timeline right. Let's see. I had my oldest son. I had my middle son, and we lived in some subsidized apartments back in those days. Me, my husband, and my two sons. And this was before I had my daughter and the last son. But back in those days, we were Bible thumpers. I used to be a Bible thumper. And we had movies. We had movies about the apocalypse. We had movies about the Antichrist. We had those kinds of movies. And then on those movies, there was Antichrist. And so the tribulation period came. Well, the people woke up. Some people woke up in like where my mama, where my brother, where my sister, where my church friends, and where my people at. And there was a church, and they were gone because they were raptured. This is kind of movies that we had, and so now the Christians are in the tribulation period, and y'all already know what happens with that because the Antichrist is in charge. These were the movies, and the Antichrist is in charge, and your nature and self-love. Me too, Tara. So thank you so much for being here. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? Listen, we need more of you and me. We need more of you because this is what they're doing. This is like the movies that I used to watch. It's just like the movies. And the Christians are doing this because they watch the movies too. Like my heart is breaking. Trinity Smith says spirituality is the best religion. Yes. And thank y'all so much for being here because this is hard for me emotionally and everything because y'all got people that you love in your life that are Christians. I don't want to scream tonight. I don't want to holler tonight, but I'm saying that this is terrible. And so the church is being used. Church people, the black church is being manipulated and gaslit by narcissists, and they don't know because they looking for the rapture, and they believe that Jesus is going to come and get them and all that. They literally believe in a literal heaven. I mean, not a literal heaven, but a literal rapture. And they believe that the Antichrist is coming. And so they're going to support the white nationalist evangelical Christians because they are Christians too. We the people again need to wake up and reset this false facade system. Girl, so bad. Like, we need to do that so bad. But my heart breaks. I can't help it. I literally can't help it. Some people, that know what we know, that have transitioned on into spirituality and everything. And, we're happy that we've been able to make the transition. But at the same time, like, the people that I love are Christians. And they're under a spell. Because the rapture is not coming. But this is the thing. This is the thing. These people in Washington, they're using the Christians. So now it's hard for me. Because back in those days when I used to watch those movies and I was a fundamental Christian, I was so happy. So I was so happy that I was saved. And my husband was saved and my children were saved. And I had my church family. I was so happy, ecstatic, and just happy that I wasn't blind and that I could see. That's how I used to be. And in those movies, I love those movies. I love watching the movies because I knew that, eventually that the Antichrist would come and I didn't want to be fooled by it. But what I'm saying, the Christians are being gaslit because the people that they are supporting are committing uh, uh, genocide. To be honest, it's not the religion, it's the people that practice it. Why do you say that, Trinity? They are practicing what it say. They practicing what it say. What chapter and verse in the Bible does it speak of the tribulation period? They practicing what it say. I know because I used to do it too. They practicing what it say, the great tribulation. For example, listen. For then there will be Matthew 24:21. For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now, no, and never will be. Daniel, Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. At that time shall arise Michael, the great prince, who has charge over your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as has never been since there was a nation till that time. But at that time your people shall be delivered, everyone whose name shall be found and written in the book. Those are two scriptures. And in Revelation chapter 7, verse 14, immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven will be shaken. And then Matthew 24, and if those days had not been cut short, no human being would be saved. This is also scary. This is very, very fear based. Um, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. That was Matthew 24. These people are scared to death. Ashley, what do you want?
I get food.
Okay, we'll get it and go on back to the bed.
I found food.
Okay. These people are scared out of their minds. They are scared that they're gonna miss their heaven ticket. I hate when my views go down. I really do hate it. I hate when my views go down. We're struggling streaming, but I ain't gonna worry about that. But it's just sad. Worship, do you think it's a hell lake of fire? Where do we go at death? We're not going to no hell lake of fire. You gotta ask yourself, why would God do that? Tash, you got to ask yourself, why would God do that? You know, there was a time in my life where I was very sinful, like just doing a whole bunch of stuff that scriptures tell you not to do. And I was going to say, but I'm not going to say, but. And at that time, I was suffering from mental and emotional stress. I was traumatized. I was confused, and my mental health was bad. And God knows all of that. hmm God knows all of that. I um I think we need to redefine what God is, who God is, and God's character, right? Because we hear stuff like, if you commit sin, then idolaters, murderers, liars, then you have your place in the lake of fire. If you are ungodly, then you have your place in the lake of fire. It comes down to, like I told y'all before, God didn't say that. It's too much that we've learned about the mankind and human beings, who we are, what we are, all of the different layers, and all of that. And these are not excuses, by the way, because they be hypocrites. Like most pastors, for what I experienced and heard, they be the worst sinners. Trinity said the worst thing they could have ever did was separate us by religion. It is so horrible, and my heart breaks. Um, I am I'm very troubled. I can't help it. There's a part of me that says, okay, well, I don't have to worry about the scary God anymore, right? But it's not just that. It's the people. Y'all, I see that on the screen, but I can't see that here. So I'm on the two lights. That is. But okay. So our administration is anti-black. Okay. They have oh, they have plans for black people, and it's not good. I'm not trying to scare y'all. I'm just telling you, right? Meanwhile, the church, the hundreds and millions and millions of church people are got their mind on God is straightening out this world, and he's gonna get the sinners, and he gonna finally get Lucifer, and we going to heaven. So these other group of people are using that, because that's not what's going to happen. Anti-color, period. Black, brown, red, yellow. Yes. Anti, well, I say black and brown people. So to me, that covers everything, other than white. But that's why I say spirituality is more factual and non-divided. Yeah, but we don't have enough. I'm talking about. So I'm 55. In my generation, maybe y'all generation, put y'all ages in the chat if you don't mind, so I can see. But in my generation, they are scared out of their minds. They don't feel safe. 51, 55. Okay, y'all are my peers. Ooh, that's refreshing. Y'all making me feel better. So I'm not the only one. They are scared out of their minds that they're gonna miss heaven. 46. Okay, all my peers. They're gonna miss heaven, and that because they're not gonna give up their heaven ticket for nobody. They're just not gonna give it up. They're not gonna give it up, and they're siding with all of this unaliving. They don't even see that they're not even carrying God's spirit, God's essence. They are all in a brain space of unaliving because I was told only 144,000 would enter. Now, Taz, think about this. Out of all, well, then, what does that say? I'm asking y'all a question. What does that say? All these people are born into the earth, in our lifetime, right? Just everybody that's born since the time that you've been alive. All these people, right? What does that say? In the city that I live in, we got about four, I think about how many million? Yeah, we got about 4, 5, 6 million people. What's up, unique? So out of just in my city, just one city, there are only 144,000 of those people, which a lot of them are children, are going to be able to qualify for this heaven. Just think, out of all the billions, zillions of people that have been born, and then listen, going all the way back from the beginning of time, who can qualify for this heaven? Who's good enough for this God? Even this is one of the points that I thought about today, because I read to y'all on Facebook, God is love and not hate. 144,000 is just plain out man-made, and it is really whoever did it wasn't smart at all. But for our people who believe it, I don't know what to say. I could just cry. I could just cry. It is so sad because I used to be one of them. I used to be one. With all of this horrible stuff that's going on, and black and brown people, even some white people, are being unalive, and then they say that God is love. There ain't no love going around right now. It's not love. These people have you know murder. That's what everybody wants. Or if the Christians say that they don't want it, then they say, oh well, God said that this gonna happen. And they are very, when I tell y'all they are very unbothered, I just can't believe it. I can't. And so my client that I talked to today, and this is why I'm doing the live. So I've been knowing her for a long, long time. And I told her, I said, the Christians are siding, the black church is siding with the administration because they're all supposed to be Christians. And she said, Cheryl, she said, at my church, she said, I don't even talk anymore. I said, why? She said, because I don't know who's one of them and who's like me. She said, it's terrible. They're not right. And this is happening in the churches. The Bible has been rewritten so many times. I question the contents when they put the wrong image of him in the Bible. The description does not fit the pic. So on my regular job, because all the other women, the three women that I just talked to y'all about, they were black. But on my second job, my main job, I was talking to the white lady. So then I said to her, I said, can I ask you a question? Because we had had a conversation about religion before. So I said to her, did you realize that the Old Testament is uh, like it's black? It's an African book. It's black. She said, yes, I realized that. And I realized that Jesus is a black person, black or brown person, the white lady. She also said that the Bible has been rewritten and edited so many times, and that her people say that it's the unadulterated word of God. And she said it's absolutely not. When she went to talk about King James, she talked about how awful he was. These are her words, not mine. Even though I've shared this with y'all, how awful King James was. He was just absolutely terrible. She said it was another main guy who was really supposed to be doing the Bible, and King James had him beheaded. That's what she said. And then he went on with his entourage, and then they edited the African book. And then they turned Jesus white in the New Testament. They turned Jesus white, and Jesus is not. That book is from Africa. Those writers were from over there. And also, they took out the other books, and she said she has the Geneva Bible which has the old books, the ones that they took out and everything included. And my heart hurt so bad. I wonder why people have the Last Supper picture, because we had it in the living room that he was white in the picture. Well, Lady T, the the colonizers made him white. So they rewrote Jesus as they wanted Jesus to look. Hey, my friend, your mic is cracking a little bit. I know, I'm sorry. We're working on getting a new device. I see you. I'm sorry about that, because I know the audio is crap. That might be why we're not back in the algorithm yet. But it just breaks my heart. And so these are the points that she pointed out. You know, a white woman saying that the Torah is a African book. My mama used to say, if snow was black, we wouldn't get any. Period. I mean, it's just it's just anti-black. You know, I know. So the Christians, I don't think so. When we people like me and you tell them that the writings came from Africa and that it's an African book, and when we tell them that it was edited and rewritten by King James and his entourage, and then it was used to control black and brown people, they won't even listen. So there's a condition. Do any one of y'all know there's they call that some type of conditioning? It's trauma, really. The black church and them not wanting to deal with all of what we just talked about. It's a mental condition, and I forgot the name of it. Do y'all remember what it is? My heart breaks. My heart breaks that they've turned Jesus white, and so so that's when white supremacy started. White supremacy started with the King James Bible and the whitewashing of the text and making Jesus white. That is the beginning of white power. And it has everything to do with church. Has everything to do with it. Everything associated with black is bad, wrong. They know we're great. They hate the fact that although we have had to struggle, we still overcome. I ask myself, what do they know that we don't know? Because the black church don't know. Some of them are learning now because of social media, but for the most part, a lot of they don't know. If we was living the truth instead of a lie, it wouldn't be so much negativity. I know, but they are scared, Trinity Smith. They're scared out of their minds. They scared. Um, I'll go as far to I'll go so far as to say that the Bible itself has been the biggest tool for oppression and enslavement, and us not have in us having a identity crisis. We don't know who we are. In church, they spend too much time worshiping man, the pastor, instead of God. So I shake my head. I can't believe it. It's so bad that I don't even feel like screaming or hollering or anything. It's just so bad. So when people die today, they reincarnate, or do they go to another earth? I think both. I think some reincarnate and some go to another dimension. That's what I think. And that's also what the white lady, because she didn't like me calling white people Caucasian. She didn't like that. I don't know why. Do y'all know why? Why she took offense to Caucasian? You know how they said the truth will set you free, and that's what they are afraid of. But why be afraid of the truth? The truth is not what they're afraid of. They scared of that scary God that's been preached forever. They scared of that. And I was too. I was too for a long time. But I had to confront it. I had to confront that fear that they fed me. They fed me that fear. I didn't grow up hearing that. They fed me. The very first thing that I heard about church was the um, assistant principal of my school telling me that I was going to go to hell if I didn't accept Jesus. So when they say God is love, that's not what they present. They really presenting this scary God. But anyway, y'all, I just it's amazing. It's amazing. I guess I do a lot of talking about the brain and how the brain works, and they can't help it. Now I'm wondering, do the devil exist? I'll say this. I know that evil exists because we see it. Anytime you unalive people, cut the head off and eat flesh, human, that's evil. The majority of Bible thumpers are shit starters and the first ones to judge. Narcissists. Narcissists. Them black Christians you talking about don't know any better. The devil is nothing but negative energy. What's up, Bruce? Um, I'm not scared of the truth because I know it already. And to be honest, we are born with the truth in us. We absolutely are Trinity, but I was afraid because they put that other thing in me. They put the other thing in there too, into my consciousness. So the D evil or the big scary devil, but they made God scary too. So here you go with the scary God, because we read what the scary God did to the people, and then the devil himself, which is the deep evil. So it was coming from both sides, and I was at one point in my life scared to death. Scared. I it's just too much reality right now for me to see it in real life. The people that I know in real life who are under that spell. We're gonna listen to this video. I want to see what y'all think about it. Basically, everyone is not spiritually awakened, which is Christ consciousness. I don't see much Christ consciousness right now. I don't see that. I see I see these people wanting, war and bloodshed. They don't have any empathy. I mean, I wish they would be more like Jesus, but they're not. But one of the other points that I had was we everybody debunks the Old Testament, and then we got the New Testament. But then we have Revelation, and Revelation is just as bad as the Old Testament. You got Jesus and the apostles in the middle. You got Genesis, the Old Testament, the prophets, the kings, the judges, and all of that in the Old Testament, which was horrible. Then you got the New Testament and the apostles, which is a little bit better. And then you got the Old Testament, which is, with the Revelation, is worse than the Old Testament. So then you're not safe, and then you become safe with Jesus. And then at the end, you're not safe again. So that's what I'm saying. These people scared to death. We're going to listen to this audio. Well, actually, it's a video. I'll let y'all see it. And I want to give my commentary on it and see what y'all think. Are going through some things, specifically. But y'all let me know y'all can hear it good. Hold on. That have been left over and looked over by both parties for decades, and they voted for this guy because they felt like, oh, he can't be bought. He's rich, and he's a businessman, and so he'll know how to run the government. Can y'all hear it? And so let's do a little check-in on how things are going with the triple Trumpers. Play the clip. Let's take a listen to one more woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump, he was going to hear you right now, what would it be? You are a worthless pile of And you voted for him how many times? 3 times. That was my
bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
So she said she voted for him 3 times. But now she said that he's a worthless bag of shit. That's what she said. So she done changed her mind about him. Listen.
Why, yes. Why, yes, you are an idiot. You are. You absolutely are an idiot. But here's what will happen to the woman like that.
And knowledge is power, and that's what they don't want you to have. But God left it here for us to inherit. Shall we, honey?
I don't want the Democrats to start thinking, oh my God, they're all jumping off the Trump train. They will jump right back on it again. It is like a blood is thicker than water type thing with these people. Mm-hmm. They will break your heart 15 times out of 10. These people that triple Trump will always run back to that system of voting for them, because psychologists have even proven that people that vote conservatively, their brains react more to fear. These are more fear-based people. Basically, they're scared.
And so that's what I'm saying too. She's saying that the Trumpers are going to revert back, even if they get mad at him for the little things that they do. Their brain is altered because of all of the fear that it's been fed. Religion, fear-based. That's what I was under. But I'm a different type of person because I got courage. You understand? And then, so I just faced it because I hadn't always lived like that. I hadn't always lived like that. See, I wasn't raised up in church. So there was a time in my life where I wasn't afraid. And I went back to that. That's how I was able to get out of it. But they're saying that something happened to your brain and you can't get out.
So they're very easily scared when people are scapegoated. Like, oh my God, these immigrants are going to do all of these things to you and they're going to take your jobs. They're like, oh shit, I'm terrified. And I know this from personal experience because I living in Oklahoma during the last election. All these people that use immigrant labor to mow their yards, to have their house cleaned, to have their house painted, to have repair work done on their house. Welcome them in, exploit their labor, pay them a lesser rate than they'd have to pay some lazy, obese American. I would say, so who are you voting for? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just really worried about the border. So porous. I'm really concerned about the border. And it's just like, Oklahoma is one state away from the border. I mean, granted, Texas is a big state, but we have a very big Latino population in Oklahoma. These people in Oklahoma are acting like there's just, caravans of Latinos running around the United States of America, and that just simply wasn't happening. I'm not saying we shouldn't have a strong border. We should. I'm not saying we shouldn't have rules for people to access the country in a legal, expeditious manner to fill employment gaps and labor gaps and provide refuge for those leaving the countries that we destabilized. I think we should have all of those things. But that gal right there, if Trump runs the 4th time, she'll quadruple Trump. I'm giggling because I have family members that do this. Jumped off the Trump train when he would not accept defeat. Knew that he was lying about the big lie. Voted for him again. So it would...
Okay, so this is the thing about these people being on that train. This is the thing. That man is a malignant narcissist. And I've been talking about narcissists in churches for years now. There is something so narcissistic about the way that they are governing now. It is so familiar to me. When I see the people who support him, and now I'm looking at the Christians that I know that are supporting him, that's because the church is plagued with narcissists. It's way worse than I thought. It's way worse. And when I look at this administration and how they have to do what he say and how they all validate him. Oh my God. They validate him so bad. And the more they validate him, the worse he gets and the worse of things that he does. I'm telling you guys need to, I mean, for the ones that are still in church, you got to ask yourself, if you come from a narcissistic family, and if you realize what no empathy folks are, and if you are really, really attracted to your pastor, narcissism might be it ain't no might in it. That's what it is. So in actuality, Lady T said, I came from a narcissistic family. So in actuality, people go into these churches, they don't realize there's something really similar about, like, energetically, and especially when it comes to the subconscious programming. Y'all know about the subconscious, especially if you come from a narcissistic home and you get up in that church and it's just something about it. It feels like home. I'm telling you, it's narcissism. And look, so in that case, they don't care about what's going on. They don't care. They don't have the empathy, so they don't care. All these years, people might have been feeling some type of way for leaving their church, or for deciding to, to try to find another one, and then they try to find another one, and the reason being is that you don't know that your meter has picked up something is wrong. One of the things, I'm gonna get back to the video, but one of the things that really hurts me is visualizing a dark entity or a really, really low vibrational pastor, or a pastor with demons and host over the people, and he or she is teaching and preaching the Bible without God's spirit.
All of their biases and bigotry. And here's the thing, and I know this is common knowledge, but Donald Trump, being a great businessman, he bankrupted casinos. Like, you don't even have to go deep in the research files. He has never been a good businessman. He's still grifting off his supporters, even though he's taking bribes for pardons in the whole nine. So I think these people, because I was in the indoctrinated Christian, being a Republican, voting Republican is just how you roll. And being a Democrat and voting for a Democrat is just sin in so many people's.
Now that's profound. So she said, Pump said, being a Republican, a conservative Republican, and is basically, she said, you're a white nationalist. Because she was raised up in it. So white Republican, white nationalist, anti-black, and then the black people, they don't understand. They are being tolerated and gaslit by the Republicans because they are anti-black. It's part of their white nationalist doctrine that they receive at church. Like punk said. This is how she grew up. It's anti-black. They talk about it at the kitchen table.
And it sounds crazy because it is, but it's reality for these people. Okay, and then one of the biggest components to the demise of America that we see right now, both culturally, both politically, governmentally, all of the things that were kind of stable in America have all been destabilized, primarily because of one man. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
Oh, listen to
I'm
this.
talking about John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court.
Hold on. So she's talking about John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. The one that says that our president can do what he wants. And basically she's saying, oh my God, that he has been funded and indoctrinated. So they paid him, and then they filled his mind up with the white national. We're talking about grown people, y'all. Oh my God. But we all know that the narcissist, if you're going to be with the narcissist, you're going to be a part of the narcissist group, you're going to be indoctrinated. You're going to be there. I don't care how old you are. If you join the group, you have to give an allegiance or alliance to the narcissist. But listen to what she said about the judge.
He's the one that unleashed Citizens United. He's the one that enabled this power grab by billionaires. He's the one that gave Trump immunity. And to everybody that watches that thinks, oh, I cannot wait for Trump to be tried in a trial and for us all to watch it publicly, it will never fucking happen, because John Roberts gave Donald Trump immunity, because these Supreme Court justices are oligarchs. They are oligarch enablers. They are oligarch ass kissers. They were funded and groomed by very powerful, wealthy men to get access to the court. So some of these men want exactly what John Roberts is doing, for the wealthy people to rule. And Donald Trump, these people are so fucking stupid because they think they can control him, and he is a loudmouth, dangerous demagogue. Pop this up. According to NBC News, Chief Justice John Roberts says that personal criticism of judges is dangerous and urged prominent figures to dial down the rhetoric days after President Trump launched his most recent broadside against the Supreme Court. And John Roberts is just like, this just has to stop. And this is just where I'm like, okay, you saw January 6th, John Roberts. You fucking saw it. Everybody in the world saw it. We know what this man is capable of.
Okay, but they didn't care. John Roberts saw January 6th. They didn't care. They have been having private meetings. Okay. So the Supreme Court, okay, so this is what they did. They, first of all, they called him and told them to come to the meeting. Who called them? The billionaires. Called the who? The judges. Y'all come into the meeting. And all y'all Christians, yes. Okay. We want to bring the second coming of Jesus Christ back. We want to bring Jesus back. And in order to do that, because then they had the people in the room that are Christian too. We need y'all to get on board, because this is the will of God. That's what they did. And then we're going to pay you for it too. We're going to fund, we're going to give you money, put it in an offshore account. So one Supreme Justice after another, indoctrinated and bought. That's why y'all keep on asking, why are they not doing anything? Why? They're not going to do anything. That's what we're dealing with right now. And then on top of all of that, the black Christians are on board too. It's too much.
With his rhetoric, you continue to give him win after win after win after win in the shadow docket because you service billionaires. You went to all of these Ivy League schools and you ascended to the top of the Supreme Court to service billionaires, not your country, not the Constitution, but billionaires. You've allowed Donald Trump.
Well, the reason why he did that is because he wanted his pockets fat. These people got a lot of money. And they bought these people. I used to think it was a joke, but baby, it's not a joke.
Who should be imprisoned to become a billionaire. And you're so fucking stupid, despite the aforementioned Ivy League education, that you think the guy that's like, we're going to the Capitol, Mike Pence isn't doing his job. You think that guy's going to tone down the rhetoric when you service your oligarch base by giving them a win on tariffs that kind of fucked up their business? You think Trump's going to keep his mouth shut because he's got all these nut jobs making up shit, writing Amazon books, making this whole tariff policy up? I don't think that was a win for the Democrats. I know your tariff thing was a win for your people, for the billionaires whose ass you kick, the billionaires that groomed you, the billionaires that you service before you service the United States of America. And all of you think this guy is going to be loyal to your cause. And this is the problem. This is why a lot of people in the Republican Party do not speak out against Trump, because his base are rabid sociopaths. I mean, I get, as you know, death threats on a daily basis for speaking out against Trump. And when Republicans do it, it's even worse.
I mean, I don't get death threats, but somebody hacked my channel from having these conversations about politics, about the administration. I mean, lots of podcasters have pure lost their channel. Their channel's gone. They're not gonna get it back. We're just living in a different world right now. You all right? But anyway, y'all, we're not gonna finish this video. Kisses and hugs. I just wanted to talk to y'all tonight about that. And this is girl, this thing could have came tumbling down behind what you just did. Ashley, why did you do that? And you didn't even ask me, was it okay? Why did you do that? Nope. Hey, you already done took it now? Ashley, come and get it. Oh, this girl. Her teenage stage. But anyway. Yeah. We are in a mess. If we ever get this shit straightened out, if we ever get this straightened out, y'all, I just can't. Because I want to say this too, and I got to say it. Got to say this. They have plans for black and brown people, and they are not good plans. They are not good. If they got plans for women in general, white and black and all other colors, they got plans for the Latino community, they got plans for the LGBTQ community and transgender, then they got plans for black and brown people too. We are, listen, oh my God. I wish I knew exactly what the white nationalist doctrine is. I wish I knew exactly what it what it is and what they say. Let me see if I can find it. Chat GPT might not even tell me. I want to know what they are saying in their circles. I want to know what they're talking about amongst themselves. I want to know the plans that they have for black people. I want to know that because y'all might say, well, Cheryl, they're not going to be able to do it. I'm telling y'all, we would have thought a year ago they would have been able to do what they're doing now. Hey, Sugar, I'm here. Oh, hey, Chad.
Hey there. Great to have you here. What's on your mind today?
I don't know if you can help me with this, but I want to find the doctrine of the white nationalists. Can you help me find that?
I can definitely help you understand what white nationalist ideologies are, and I can summarize their key themes for you, but I won't be able to provide any actual extremist or hateful content. Is that what you're looking for, or is there something else you had in mind?
Yeah, give me what you got. Let me listen.
Of course. So, broadly speaking, white nationalist ideology revolves around the belief in the supremacy or superiority of white people, and often advocates for supremacy, so racially homogeneous society. It usually emphasizes fear of demographic change, often opposes immigration, and sometimes draws on pseudoscientific racial theories. It's important to understand these ideas to counter them with accurate information and foster inclusive, diverse communities. Let me know if you need more detail on any of that.
Is there any way in white nationalist philosophy for inclusion when it comes to black and brown people?
That's a really important question, and the short answer is that white nationalist ideologies are fundamentally exclusionary. They generally define inclusion in very narrow, racialized terms, often only allowing for some assimilation if people conform to their idea of whiteness. So by design, they don't really offer genuine inclusion for black people. They're often seen as outsiders or adversaries in that root view.
So you said they don't offer genuine acceptance in the white nationalist religion. Is there any way, or it, can the black church?
I see where you're going. Yeah, the black church has historically been a huge source of community, resilience, and spiritual strength. It often provides a counterbalance to exclusionary ideologies. So while white nationalist groups don't offer inclusion, the black church and other faith communities often serve as a powerful place of belonging, empowerment, and resistance against that kind of hate.
So you say that is hate, but what makes it hateful?
Yeah, that's a great question. At its core, a lot of white nationalist ideology is built on racial hierarchies, basically saying that one group is inherently superior or more deserving of power or resources. That kind of thinking dehumanizes others, fosters discrimination, and often leads to violence or systemic oppression. So the hate is really in that denial of equality and dignity for all people.
So it leads to violence because they are, um, I, yeah. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that.
Of course. I'm really glad I could help. And I know it's a heavy topic, so if you ever want to...
So the black Christians are not included. Now, if you listen to my live tonight, and if you make it this far, if you catch the replay, I'm gonna need y'all don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, there is no place for you. Chat just told you the doctrine. There's a lot of things that he couldn't say, but there is no place for you. And the only place that they give blacks in that administration is, he just said it like it's not genuine. What's up, KC Dewan? It's not genuine. Do you see what I'm saying? It has something to do with something that they're trying to do. And I don't understand what the black church don't understand about that. That's what I'm saying. This white nationalist ideology is not Christian at all. It's white supremacy. You can just take the Christian off of it. It's not Christian. It is White supremacy. There is no place of inclusion in it. And I don't think the black church knows that. Stacy said facts. There's no place for blacks. So let's take it a step further. When you're dealing with the administration, who are white nationalists and white supremacists, and there's no place for blacks, then don't y'all think that they have found a place for blacks, but it's not what blacks would like? And my mind can't help but think, what do they plan to do with black and brown people? Because we know what happened before. This, what we're dealing with now, is very similar to what our forefathers have experienced in real time. We haven't seen anything like this in a long, long time. They came out the gate and they fired all those 300,000, over 300,000 black women. Straight out the gate, they fired them. They came out hitting the floor, just running with that. And I don't understand for the life of me. And it hurts that the black Christians are in a brain fog. It is white supremacy. That's what it is. We have dialed down the Holy Spirit, and that's the truth. Many say, I agree, when I didn't see that. What you mean? We're not included. We already see what they're doing now. I just, y'all know, I call you guys the deep lane because it's the deep lane, right? And you got to think about the intention of the white nationalists. What we can see right now, what they're doing in other parts of the world. Cuba, Iran. Those people are colored. Trinity said, I'm still here, I'm just listening. Those people are, I consider, black and brown people. And now you got, them unaliving people everywhere, blowing up those boats. What do you think they have planned for us here in America, the African American community? What do you think? Because, see, the Christians are not thinking. So I need y'all to think. The Christians are not thinking. The only thing that they're thinking about is going home in the rapture. Some preachers don't even preach rapture or teach rapture because they just don't believe it. But I want the Christians, I gotta tell you, I want to say something to you. You got children, you have grandkids, you have cousins that are African American, of course, and young. And these people have plans. I want to know what it is. Don't you? I want to know what they got planned. Because they got a plan. You can believe that. hmm I've been looking at all these apartments. I believe the Christians are asleep and under a deep spell. They are. They are both. I'm telling you, I deal with them from what I experienced today. But I've been known this though. But it was just so obvious today. It's very sad. The black churches are conducting church and living their lives as normal, and there's nothing normal. And they are saying that they're they saving money, they focusing on their bag. But y'all, you ain't got no bag compared to these people's bags. These people collectively got a whole bunch of money. My daughter and my grandchildren where where what you're talking about in my brother. Wow. They started with that COVID. And guess what? And also read that regentification all over the United States, that was part of it too. That was the first layer. I feel like the regentification was the first round. You know, when I look at regentification, I've always looked at regentification and known that there was something really evil and something horrible about it. I always knew that. They were the same people sitting around the table. These people have a plan. These people have a plan. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling y'all what's true. You know what I'm saying? And us escaping or believing that somebody is going to come save us, that is not it. That cash going to turn the cards anyway, so you can hold on to it all you want, right? If you don't get that mark of the beast, they're not going to feed you anyway. How do you know we don't already have it? Huh? So look, when they went into the education department and they went into DC, Doge went in there and took all the information. That's it. They got all our information, every bit of it. David, gentrification, I was against that. I used to be very political. You are telling facts. Yes, that was the first round. Gentrification was the first part. Mine in New York was when Clinton moved to Harlem. I knew from then they was trying to do something. It was, but no one was listening, and I was trying to get the people in my community when I owned my home to listen to me, but they didn't listen, and a lot of them got kicked out of my town. Well, yeah, it happened here too. It happened all over the United States. I said that today, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" Because in Florida they're doing it, in North Carolina they're doing it, baby. Raleigh, North Carolina, right here, baby. Alabama, they're doing it. They've been doing it. Regentification was the first round. It was. Now they have more plans. So I'll tell you part of what they're doing. What they're going to do is change laws and pull back rights and privileges taken away. You talking facts. If they don't read, you would never know what's going on if they doing it right in your face. That's right. I'm serious. I'm serious. Nobody talking about this but you. I'm listening to you tonight for real, for real. Um, yeah, regentification into politics. hmm Firing on defunding Black America, goes on rewriting history, taking down our information. That's a fact, but I don't think I got to know. I didn't take that COVID test. Mm, yeah. So it's a lot going on, and I'm looking. I'm paying very much attention to it. So basically, we've been programmed for years. Yep. hmm I forgot all about that when they started. When I started being, everyone knew that medicine you took. Yeah, you're right. Right. He didn't just come get that information for no reason. They did a whole lot. They did a whole lot to be able to bring Elon Musk and a group of young people in all kinds of computers and go in there and get all these millions of people in the United States information. All our information. They got it. What, what do we think it was for? We still don't know the whole story as far as all of what they're going to do with it. And everybody is conducting life as usual, per usual. And ain't nothing the same.
What's up, Roy? How you doing? We having a deep conversation, honey. We are having a deep conversation. And I love y'all for being here. Cuba and have an Afro community, and that non-Afro Cubans and Iranians suppressed, discriminate, excluded. What the black women? Okay, is I'm good. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. Is anti-black all over the world. It's anti-black everywhere, not just here. They are still colonizing, and they are not apologizing while they're still colonizing. I hate to see a black person tell me when I tell them that no, Cheryl, it ain't like that, and it very much the fuck is. Oh, Cheryl, they're not racist, and they are. They've been hiding it for a long time, and now they don't have to anymore. And it's okay. It's okay. Um, you don't know about gentrification? It's when the white people move to the black side of town and bought properties and land for really cheap, and then put $1 million houses on the land, and then they did that one family after another, after another, after another, after another, just from block to block until the property value raised and the taxes raised, and people had to move. And then they also too came and offered them dimes for their property, knowing that they were going to put $1 million house on the property. And then at that point, their property, they did not pay them what they should have paid them for their property. So so it's wrong. There was, when it comes to regentification, there was no morals and ethics involved. It was business, it was exploitative, it was you don't know, and so I'm going to get over on you, and I'm gonna do it over and over and over again until it's enough of us, and we just took your side of town back. Now go wherever you go because we live here now. That's what they did. It happened to my mother too. So they have plans for us, and the church is asleep. But part of my issue is, part of my issue is, welcome to the live. What you say, Benny? Yeah, they have been doing that for years, and they still doing it. That it hasn't changed. They doing it right now. Part of my issue is they are still doing it, and the black church is the meeting place. And you say, Cheryl, don't do that. No, I'm gonna take, because it's true. The black church is the meeting place, meaning that the black church is where we always find out what's going on. But nowadays, because of the white supremacist churches, basically are gaslighting and keeping the black churches from knowing their real intentions And then the black preachers are keeping our people asleep. They are asleep. They don't know what's going on, and it's sad. It's sad. For the longest, we've had two different groups of blacks. We've had educated blacks, college educated blacks, AKAs, deltas, firemen, barbers, cosmetologists, librarians, those group of blacks. And those group of blacks didn't understand that we as black people collectively could never afford not to bring our people together, and still we don't quite know how to do it. And so what we did was we we got our education, we made our money, we bought us a home, we moved into neighborhoods with them, and they were smiling at us, and they were talking with us, and they were saying that they were our friends, while they were still having that ongoing white supremacist conversation. And you might say, sure, how do you know that? Because I've been listening to white people who are deconstructing from their white supremacy, saying that this is what has happened. That the whole time, you say, sure, what you mean the whole time? The whole time. We'll just say the last 200 years. They were still having their white supremacist conversations. Yeah, at home, um, at the games, amongst their community. This conversation never ceased. It's been going the whole time. That's how they did the regentification. So now they're amongst us. They're right there where we are. They're in our neighborhoods right now. And you might say, sure, well, all white people are not like that. No, they're not. But most of them are. And we can't tell the difference. Because there are so many of them who are still holding their real intention back while gaslighting, lying, and manipulating the blacks. And the black church is helping them do it. And that's the part that hurts me, because I'm just like, when are y'all gonna wake up? It's one thing for you to be asleep, but for you to cause hundreds and thousands of other people to stay asleep. Because if you wake up, then you're supposed to wake them up. But they're not doing that. They're saying, I got to worry about me and my family. That's what the black preachers are doing. I got to worry about me and my family. When the whole time the congregation is what's been keeping y'all up, keeping y'all in the position that you've been in. It's crazy. It's crazy. There is a restaurant in the town where I live in. It's called Annette's Catch. Y'all can Google it. It's in the town of Knightdale, North Carolina, and it's called Annette's Catch. When I tell you, I noticed 2 years ago that Annette's Catch was a racist ass white restaurant where black people are in there calling white people boss and yes ma'am and yes sir and doing that slave talk. I had an incident with one of the waiters at Annette's Catch, and she's a white girl. And basically, she told me that they didn't have any croaker fish, right? And I was like, I don't believe that. I told her, I don't believe it. I said, no, no, no. What she was going to do was, she took my order and she said she's going, so I told her I want 2 fish with the head cut off. But she thought that I was saying that I wanted cooked, but I didn't want it cooked. I wanted raw. So then when I said that, she said, we don't have no croaker fish. Well, you just told me that you had it and that you were gonna cook it for me. So she got annoyed. So I said that. This is why I said to her, if I come down there and I see those croaker fish, and when I said that, ooh, I didn't even get to finish it. When I said, she went off. Oh my God, it was terrible. I mean, of course, listening to my voice, nobody is shocked that I'm a black woman. Okay, I sound like a black woman. I ain't like Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? It get black. So when I say that she went off so bad, it was like that she and her friends could come and get me and hang me in the back of the restaurant on a goddamn rope on a tree. It was terrible. Also, she could hear in my voice that I'm an older woman. You know what I'm saying? That I'm her elder. I could tell in her voice that she was young. She didn't give no fucks. She had about that much patience for a black woman that called her out on her shit. And all that racist stuff came flying out her mouth. So I called back to speak to the manager. And baby, he gave me more racist. So anyway, since then, I had told my daughter about it 2 years ago. And she told me the other day, she said, girl, everybody's saying that Annette's kids is racist. They done gone viral for being racist. I said, well, see, now with the administration that we got, they show everybody that they racist. You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy. Yes. They show everybody that they're racist. It's terrible. And so now, we see it everywhere. I see it on social media where there are lots of fights where white people are out their mouth all kind of crazy to black people, calling black men boys, and next thing you know, they're getting the shit beat out of them, and it's just all because of white nationalist doctrine, and these people are indoctrinated, and it's growing like a contagion. It's growing, and I gotta be honest. From what I see and from what I feel, those people want us back in chains. I'm just gonna tell you. I hate to tell you. I hate to be the one to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you. They're trying to take women's rights away, all women. So that will make black women vulnerable. They're trying to force us out of the working world. They're trying to keep you from going to school. No school, no work at home. They're building big ass prisons and concentration camps. Our black men gonna go in those. They ain't did much talking about it. They sending the immigrants away. So who the fuck you gonna put in the prisons? Hmm? We're talking about white nationalists. We're talking about the doctrine. Y'all just heard ChatGPT tell y'all that there's no place for inclusion when it comes to white nationalists. So they got plans for us. You said, sure, why you keep saying that? Okay, did they have plans for regentification? Yes. Hmm. Did they have plans for the COVID? Yes. Didn't our commander in chief at the time say that he wasn't going to let the people know what was going on because they wanted that virus to do what it did? Mhm. And so they had plans. Okay, they're building big prisons and concentration camps for what? They got plans. They carried out regentification, that's done. They carried out COVID, that's done. The prisons are not finished. The concentration camps are not finished. The immigrants they put out the country. What are y'all gonna do with those big prisons and those concentration camps? What you gonna do with it? Sure, can you teach Amara about this subject, please? I'm teaching right now. What are you gonna do with it? You're going to, in 2026, white supremacists and white nationalists, you want your blacks back under your power and control and domination. Is that what you want? For the people who say, Cheryl, this is not what them people want. This is fucking exactly what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. I haven't seen anything written down. I've not been in their meetings, but I've been in their meetings. I'm telling you now what they want for your pastor sons. Y'all think it's cool that your preacher son is keeping black people asleep? There's a place for him in that jail too, and in that concentration camp. Say your black preacher son, you proud of him because he wear name brand clothes and got a big house and able to buy you stuff. He's going in there too, according to their plan. Mhm. They have plans. When you say Stephen Miller, do y'all know Stephen Miller? He's as racist as can be. Stephen Bannon, they're in charge. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna do it. Hmm. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna do it. Hmm. And I tell you what, it's a lot of white people that voted this in 2025, and they knew all of this when they cast their vote. They were standing on the sidelines waiting for the day that all this stuff will be carried out. Somebody told me, a friend of mine who has a white friend, female, this is what she said. Y'all listen to this. She said that she got to be honest, that when Donald Trump became president, that they are treated better in the world. That before he became president, that white people were treated bad. Now, I mean, this is her, she's a white woman, right? So obviously this is her maybe experience and her perspective. But me, as a black woman, I don't see where white people were treated bad before Trump came into power. I don't see that. Do y'all see that? Now, that could have been. But again, they themselves preach white fear, and it's not real. My mother told my ex-husband, who's a white man, she said, because my mother lived in the hood on the block. So she told him, they are more afraid of you than you are of them. They're afraid of you. My son was pulled over one day, 220 pounds, dark skin, tall, with locks and athletic. That's how he looked. The white officer pulled out one of the biggest guns that police can have. And it's not like my son had robbed a bank. It wasn't like somebody said that he was driving that car and the cops had seen that particular car. He was part of some domestic situation. It wasn't like any of that. The police officer was so aggressive with my son, and my son said, why are you acting that way?" And the police officer said, uh "I don't want you to hurt me," or something like. And my son said, "I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you with that gun." And he said, the police officer said, "You shut your fucking mouth. You're not scared of me." Well, sir, you're scared to death, white officer. You're trembling and shaking, and you have an assault rifle. My son is scared. I want to say this. I've been saying this. I'll say it again. Black people don't sit around in circles and discuss how we're going to unalive white people. That is not what black people do. And if you, as a white person, if that's how you feel or if that's how you fear, that is your fear that you need to deal with. It is not real. You have been indoctrinated. It's part of your white nationalist indoctrination. It's part of what your mama and your daddy and your grandfather and your grandparents talked about at the table. You guys are aggressive. You're the aggressive people. You're the people with no empathy. You're the people that like blood and bones, flesh, not us. True, in some states are worse than others. Yeah. Wow. Maybe we need to start because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. I 1000% agree with you. They're not going to stop. It's sad, but it is true. They're not. They're not going to stop. Um, because in 2026, with so many working professional, minding their own goddamn business black people, for white people to still fantasize about getting black people because of their guilt and because of their shame. They're not going to stop. No, yeah, Roland Martin wrote a book called Black Fear, and I've not read it. I need to purchase it, but I can almost feel like I know what's on the pages of his book. I was watching this political, uh, I don't know what they were doing. Oh no, they were putting in the bill to make a law, and this Korean white woman was saying that slavery, she said, first of all, she said the Bible says to treat your slaves good. And then she said slavery wasn't that bad. And those two black men, they ripped her apart. Because, first of all, if you're not a black person, your ancestors were not black, then you be quiet and you let the black people speak as to how awful slavery was. Anytime you feeding newborn babies to alligators and you're raping fathers in front of their children and wives, and you're using the teeth of slaves that you put in your mouth, and you cooking slaves. People are saying they want to erase the history, the true history. They want to take out all the bad that was done and make up some good. And you can't do that. This is what they are attempting to do. And when I tell people about their King James Bible, this is not the first time that this has happened. You're going to steal the Torah knowing that it came from Africa, but then you present it to everybody like the people in the book are white and Jesus is white. You know. So being a black woman watching it from where I stand at 55, like the brother said in the chat, they're not going to change. Yes, and that's only because they were black, not just another person, but the color of their skin. Read the Salute to Gangs. um, I think we have been infested too with the lack of morals and ethics and character of some of these white nationalists and white supremacists. I think we have adopted the idea um, that money is everything and that money over all things, and as long as you get your money. But they've been able to buy our Supreme Court with that money. They've been able to buy justice. They've been able to purchase it and then feed it something else other than justice. They basically given the administration the goal or the okay to do horrible things to citizens of the United States and abroad. They've given them a license to cause pain. The Supreme Court did that. And maybe they were trying to save themselves. I don't know. But my thing is this: if you are a judge and you went to school to be a judge, and God damn it, everything that you've ever read or was written about morals, character, and justice, then you turn your back on it for a paycheck. And then your internal GPS, your heart, your soul is for sale. These people have been bought and indoctrinated. That's called selling your soul. Mhm. So did they even believe in justice at all? Huh? Or are these psychopaths that went to these goddamn colleges, got these degrees, and placed themselves in positions of authority so that the day would come that they could wreak havoc over people? If we ever get this motherfucking world back, if we ever get back in control, when it comes to judges, politicians, and preachers, all three, judges, politicians, and preachers, we need to make sure that do not, that they are not psychopaths and fucking narcissists. Because I'm tired. I know the church. That's the institution that I do know. And it is full of narcissists. And evidently, the political world and the judges are too. Because they're in alliance and they're in agreement on what the fuck they are doing right now. And we're looking at it. So we got to govern ourselves accordingly, guys. And I don't know what to tell you to do, because you have people that you love in your life. And yes, but this the thing, what's your number right here? 6272. We can stop looking to them. They're bored and they want to fuck with us. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't want us to leave America. They want us to be here for when they start the shit that they've written down on paper. And we don't know what that is. Not yet. So when we find out, and I don't know how we're going to find out, but just use your imagination. The, uh, the past is a strong indication of the future. So look at what they've already done. That's what they want to do. They already hit education, meaning they've attacked that. They already said this administration, they say fuck education. We like common sense. Or we like people that are not as educated as you black women. So we tired of y'all knowing how to read, how to do this and do that. So that already let us know what they want. They want to dumb us down. They building prisons and concentration camps. They want to lock us up. And now the FDA, they're doing all kind of shit, bad shit to food. Then they want us to do, they want to feed us and have control of our bodies by way of food. Those are some of the things that they want to do. Okay, Roy. Good night. What time is it here? What time is it where you at? I didn't even know it's 9:21. Let me get off this line. But anyway, Benny White, thank you for being here. And everybody, kisses and hugs. This was a Deep Laner exclusive for sure. Okay. I love y'all to pieces. And yeah, I'll be back. We'll talk some more. Bye guys. I'm gonna get ready for work tomorrow. And I'm off on Friday. So we can really hang out on Friday, guys. Bye y'all. See y'all later. Good night.